Talent hits a target no one else can hit. Genius hits a target no one else can see. Compassion is the basis of morality. A man can be himself only so long as he is alone, and if he does not love solitude, he will not love freedom. For it is only when he is alone that he is really free. Life swings like a pendulum backward and forward between pain and boredom. Hope is the confusion of the desire for a thing with its probability. We can regard our life as a uselessly disturbing episode in the blissful repose of nothingness. Men are the devils of the earth, and the animals are the tormented souls. Mostly it is loss which teaches us about the worth of things. Every man takes the limits of his own field of vision for the limits of the world. Happiness consists in frequent repetition of pleasure. Marrying means to have one's rights and double one's duties. There are very few who can think, but every man wants to have an opinion, and what remains but to take it ready-made from others, instead of forming opinions for himself. He who writes carelessly confesses thereby at the very outset that he does not attach much importance to his own thoughts. After your death, you will be what you were before your birth. Ordinary people merely think how they shall spend their time. A man of talent tries to use it. It is difficult to find happiness within oneself, but it is impossible to find it anywhere else. The person who writes for fools is always sure of a large audience. One should use common words to say uncommon things. Compassion for animals is intimately associated with goodness of character, and it may be confidently asserted that he who is cruel to animals cannot be a good man. We forfeit 3/4 of ourselves in order to be like other people. I have not yet spoken my last word about women. I believe that if a woman succeeds in withdrawing from the mass, or rather raising herself from above the mass, she grows ceaselessly and more than a man. I have long held the opinion that the amount of noise that anyone can bear undisturbed stands in inverse proportion to his mental capacity and therefore be regarded as a pretty fair measure of it. Philosophy is a science, and as such has no articles of faith. Accordingly, in it nothing can be assumed as existing except what is either positively given empirically, or demonstrated through indubitable conclusions. Life is a constant process of dying. The safest way of not being very miserable is not to expect to be very happy. Every parting gives a foretaste of death, every reunion a hint of the resurrection. It often happens that we blurt out things that may in some kind of way be harmful to us, but we are silent about things that may make us look ridiculous. Because in this case effect follows very quickly on cause. Politeness is to human nature what warmth is to wax. Reading is thinking with someone else's head instead of one's own. Pleasure is never as pleasant as we expected it to be, and pain is always more painful. The pain in the world always outweighs the pleasure. If you don't believe it, Compare the respective feelings of two animals, one of which is eating the other. So the problem is not so much to see what nobody has yet seen, as to think what nobody has yet thought concerning that which everybody sees. If I maintain my silence about my secret, it is my prisoner. If I let it slip from my tongue, I am its prisoner. The shortness of life, so often lamented, may be the best thing about it. Wealth is like seawater. The more we drink, the thirstier we become, and the same is true of fame. Almost all of our sorrows spring out of our relations with other people. There is no more mistaken path to happiness than worldliness. To find out your real opinion of someone, judge the impression you have when you first see a letter from them. Man can do what he wills, but he cannot will what he wills. To be alone is the fate of all great minds, a fate deplored at times, but still always chosen as the less grievous of two evils. What a man is contributes much more to his happiness than what he has or how he is regarded by others. If we suspect that a man is lying, we should pretend to believe him, for then he becomes bold and assured, lies more vigorously, and is unmasked. A high degree of intellect tends to make a man unsocial. Every miserable fool who has nothing at all of which he can be proud, adopts as a last resource pride in the nation to which he belongs. He is ready and happy to defend all its faults and follies tooth and nail, thus reimbursing himself for his own inferiority. A sense of humor is the only divine quality of man. A man finds himself, to his great astonishment, suddenly existing, after thousands and thousands of years of non-existence. He lives for a little while. And then, again, comes an equally long period when he must exist no more. The heart rebels against this, and feels that it cannot be true. No rose without a thorn, but many a thorn without a rose. Without books, the development of civilization would have been impossible. They are the engines of change, windows on the world, lighthouses, as the poet said, erected in the sea of time. They are companions, teachers, magicians, bankers of the treasures of the mind. Books are humanity in print. Faith is like love. It does not let itself be forced.